So we want to talk a bit about cross-platform mobile development. So that's the standard approach that we've all seen for how you build mobile apps. Full native stack for whatever platform you're targeting. Or Java, or Objective-C, or Scala maybe, or JavaScript for mobile web. So, and as Stu mentioned, that leads to an absolute maintenance nightmare. They're really nice UI. You've probably run into the right once run anywhere approach that from vendors like Coney and PhoneGap. What we've generally seen there is, while you get to share a bunch of stuff, the UI, the fidelity of that, is degraded a bit. You can't get quite the same level of high-touch experience that you would get with that you do get with the full native stack. So what if there was another way? And what if you did something like this, where you write a piece of shared logic that drives the application. It's responsible for flow through the application, domain manipulation, business logic-ish stuff like that. You wrote that in JavaScript because it's the one cross-platform language we have at the moment. And then you had some kind of native shim layer that connected you up to your core JavaScript up to native UIs. So you could have a nice high-fidelity, high-touch experience on iPhone and the same thing on Android. And all you'd be building is separate UIs. And you'd be keeping all your logic out of the UIs, so it wouldn't actually you wouldn't have to port too much stuff. You'd be largely just reproducing the UIs. So this is what this is the approach at the moment. So we've built a chunk of JavaScript, quite a big chunk, to drive buying flights. And then we've got UIs for iPhone, Android, and mobile web. And I'll probably show you the app tomorrow, I think. Quick way to it. And hand over to Pete.
So there's this interesting symmetry here, right, where on the right-hand side you've got this nice shared business logic, and what if we could take that and mirror it on the other side, or maybe we wouldn't need to do the shared business logic. So this idea is essentially the mirror image of the idea of shared business logic. We have shared business level tests and some kind of shim layer that plugs these into platform-specific test driving technologies. So for the web, you would use WebDriver. For Android, you'd use MessageDriver or Roboto. I think Roboto. I don't know. I'm not an Android guy. And obviously on iOS, there's only one choice. Kith. No. Yeah. So, and I think that one doesn't imply the other. I almost feel like if you're doing, there's situations where this cross-platform core makes sense, and if you're doing that, you probably don't need to do this because you're sharing the business logic. So it's a little bit of extra stuff to do all of this work to kind of have the same test running against different platforms. But if you're faced with a maintenance nightmare because you have to change things and you don't know if things are consistent across all your platforms, maybe you can still do everything all native, but cut down on your workload by not writing the same specs 4 or 5 times, which is what happened at another client of ours. Yeah, where they basically did the worst of both worlds. They implemented the same logic 5 times, and each time they had to rediscover the requirements and then rewrite all the tests on each platform, which was just a huge amount of wasted effort. And another thing that's interesting is, and this is kind of going back to if you had this shared logic, is you've got these really nice, so I guess Michael Feathers calls them seams. So you've got all these testing seams because you've broken this stuff up into different layers, and you've got these clear API boundaries. You can drive the tests in the right place. So if I want to test this shared logic, I don't want to be driving HTML elements or iOS bits. I want to be talking to an API and testing the actual logic. I don't care about what the UI is doing. I want to do this kind of subcutaneous testing. And vice versa, if I'm testing the UI, maybe I don't even want the real logic to be there. So this is kind of I guess talking more about this being smart about how you're testing, not trying to drive all of your logic testing through the UI, which is painful and slow, and everyone gets annoyed with broken builds. And I think that's about it.
Awesome.